Welcome to the MLMsuccess.com podcast, the show designed to return the network marketing industry to its roots of personal growth, leadership development, and wisdom of the ages success principles. We share with you real success stories from real people that we hope will inspire and encourage you personally and help you progress forward in your business and your life. We believe if you build people, people will build the business. Now here is your host, who has been called the number one mind in network marketing, the MLM Prophet, network marketing virtual mentor, and a host of other names that we will not mention because this is a family show. Frankly, he's just a small town guy that figured out that the real product in network marketing is people. Dale Calvert.
Hey, this is Dale Calvert. This is session 189 of the MLM Success Podcast. The title of this session is just a reminder, there ain't no foo-foo dust. There ain't no foo-foo dust. There's just wisdom of the ages principles that when you put them into action, and you do it systematically and sequentially over a period of time, produces the results that most people are looking for, not just within the network marketing business model, but within any business model in the country. That's the reality. It's, do you have the consistency, the patience, the determination, the internal drive to consistently over a period of time, sequentially, systematically do the activities and the skills, master the skills and do the activities that are necessary to create success in any business endeavor. And the next logical question is, but there's so much confusion out there, and there's so many people, that are teaching 1,000 different ways to do the same business. What do I do? Find the right mentor. Find the right mentor. Well, Dale, my mentor's making $1 million a year. That's not the issue. How many people have they taught to do what you want to do? That's the issue. That's the only variable. And if you want to take it one step further, how many of those people have taught people? Go back and watch. It's at MLMhelp.com, the lost secret to network marketing success. The lost secret. You can go to MLMhelp.com, type in lost secret in the search bar, and that webinar will pop up for you. This is not complicated. It's just not. It's common sense. It's if you just stop and take a breath, but we get in such routines day in and day out, doing this exact same thing the exact same way. And many times the activities that we're doing are not based upon the market that we're working in, are based upon wisdom of the ages principles. And if you're doing something that's not based upon wisdom of the ages principles, then it's going to be difficult. And it's not any more difficult than that. It's really not. It's just, there's the lost secret to network marketing success. Guarantee it. It's on that podcast. It's on that recorded webinar. It's there. MLMhelp.com. And then probably /lost, but I don't know. But I do know if you go to MLMhelp.com and type in the search bar lost, it'll share with you exactly what it takes to build the type of business that people dream about in this profession. And there ain't no foo-foo dust. There's no way around the obvious. There's no way around wisdom of the ages. It just is what it is. So with that said, I want to share a message that I got from Robert in Malaysia. I get many different messages like this, and I thought maybe I would just share Robert's, and then we'll expand on the concept a little bit that there ain't no magic foo-foo dust. So let's hear what Robert had to say, then I'll be back with you here in just a second.
This is Robert here. Robert Yap. I'm from Malaysia. I'm currently with a MLM company in Malaysia, and company named Chongho, which is a Taiwanese company. I've been in this business MLM for almost full-time for 10 years. And what I hear from your sharing as far as MLM is concerned, it's very, very exciting. And I agree with whatever you have based on your podcast and some of your videos. I do agree with what you say, and I would like to learn more. My question is, as someone who has been in this business for so many years, I'm still learning, and I'd like you to give me your guidance. What should I do if I would like to achieve somewhat your success in MLM? I always believe my dream is to be the biggest top earner in my own company. That is my goal, and I believe I can achieve. And what I've learned from you based on your videos and podcasts, I really, really appreciate what you have done for me.
Thanks, Robert. I'm sorry you got cut off a little bit there, buddy. But congratulations on 20 years in the network marketing profession, the last 10 years full time, and more than that, believing that you can become the top income earner in Malaysia in your company. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. If you were not capable of making that dream a reality, then you would not be capable of even conceiving that dream. But this is an extremely, extremely broad question. And again, it's real common. Dale, show me what to do. Show me what do I need to do? How can I need your mentorship. I need you to help me more. And I get this a lot from a lot of people from all over the world. And I appreciate every comment that I get. And this is not I just need to say what I need to say. And again, I want to step back a little bit and just think about because there's other people that have similar goals that want to really maximize their upside potential with this business model. People that are just messing around with network marketing as a hobby when they think about it, or jump on a conference call every couple of months when somebody in their upline, promotes it hard enough. Those people are not listening to podcasts, and they're not ever going to build a business because there ain't no foo-foo dust. This is not like buying a lottery ticket. You don't buy your distributor kit and every month or so pull it out from underneath your couch and start rubbing on it like a magic lamp, expecting $100 bills to start flying out of it. It doesn't work that way. So I appreciate the seriousness, Robert. I appreciate the fact that you've been in the profession for 20 years. That speaks volumes. And I'm not talking to you directly because I don't have enough information to really talk to you directly. But I'm going to talk general concepts for everybody that's on this podcast that has similar goals, dreams, and ambitions and wants to learn from someone that's already done it and understands it and gets it. And that's where I'm coming from here. But if we all just stop and think about it, okay, what's a successful network marketing business? And for everybody listening, it would probably be different. What is a successful network marketing business for you? That's really what everybody has to stop and think about. And for me, I know when I started, initially in the very, very beginning, I'm thinking if I could make $2,000 a month, then I could, with what I'm making through my magic gigs that I'm doing, I could live a good life, $2,000 extra a month, and I could get out of this job that I cannot stand. And now that mentality didn't last very long, but that was my initial thoughts. So the main question, the first question that everybody needs to come to grips with, and I'm sure, Robert's way past this again, so this is not directed at Robert, but the first question that everybody has to ask themselves, are you in network marketing to make money? Are you in network marketing just because of the social aspect, more as a hobby? And a lot of people are. I would say the majority are. Whether they admit it or not is one thing. Whether they initially joined because they were looking for a hobby or a social club to hang out in is another thing. But the reality is most people involved in the network marketing business model today are not working the business as a business. It's more of a social club and a hobby. Now, well, Dale, I didn't join a hobby. I already had enough hobbies. Well, I didn't say you joined that way. I'm saying that's what it's evolved into or reverted into. And if people, to thy own self be true, look in the mirror. How many people do you have in your funnel right now? Your future customer, future team member funnel. That will tell you the seriousness that you have or don't have with this business model as it relates to it being a business. Now, granted, some people are still in the evaluation mode that listen to this podcast. I understand that. They're still going through the process. They're still in the process of developing their 4 beliefs. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about because there's 4 beliefs that everybody must develop if they expect to reach their maximum potential in this profession. Belief in the company, belief in the product or service, belief in the business model, and belief in themselves. Those are the 4 fundamental beliefs. And you have to have belief, not a good opinion, a belief. Beliefs are much stronger than opinions. It's because we're all made up of opinions, attitudes, and beliefs. So, what does a successful business look like for you right now at this time and place in your life, on your journey? Because when I first started, $2,000 a month screamed success for me when I first started, until I started to understand what was really possible from a residual income standpoint. And then I thought, my gosh, if I could get to 6 figures a month or 6 figures a year and not have a boss and make $100,000 a year. Granted, guys, this is way back in 1980. But if I could get to $100,000 a year and not have a boss, life couldn't be much better than that. Sell my own chip, work with people that I like working with, be around positive people. Life couldn't get any better than that. And what happens is eventually, if you develop the leadership characteristics that you have to your highest level, and you continually learn, as Robert talked about, he loves to learn. He's continuing to learn. And if you have a learning mentality, then at some point along the path in network marketing, with the network marketing business model, your reality is going to surpass, what your original expectations were. So you have to continually to increase your expectations if you want to continue to grow, learn, develop, because your reality always will meet your expectations. So you can go real far forward and then come back to meet your expectations if you're not conscious of that situation, conscious of your mindset. And sometimes we just get overrun with thankfulness. But Jim Rohn said the key to success is to be able to combine thankfulness with ambition. Not lose your ambition because you've been overcome with thankfulness. And I promise you, I'm speaking from experience there. So what is success in network marketing at this time and place in your life? What does it look like for you? Is it doable for you within a 3 to 5 year period? Is it doable? Based upon your time that you can devote to personal education and devote to consistently doing the right activities and what I call income generating activities. I'm not talking about attending your company's conference and, being on 7 webinars this week with all the leaders. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about doing the activities that create growth over time when done consistently and sequentially. Are you willing to do that? And if you're not, that's okay. Pivot. There's many other business models. It's okay to pivot, but a warning. Everyone that I've ever known that started, and I'm talking about 27%ers, that started and struggled emotionally, psychologically, mentally with this business in the beginning, but persisted and developed the right skill sets and mindsets. Every one of them had a desperate point on their path when they probably considered quitting. Every one of them. They would call that pivoting today, make a pivot. But see, the reality is there's more opportunity today around the world than ever in the history of mankind. There's more opportunity. And a lot of times people get involved in one particular niche, one particular opportunity, and they just kind of stay there instead of expanding. And they stay there and hang out instead of stay there and grow. If you're not having growth, why are you doing what you're doing? Really. If you're not having growth, and I'm not even talking about financial growth. I'm talking about personal growth because, again, personal growth comes before financial growth. And I used to tell people, give us a year of your life, a year. You won't recognize yourself in a year because the first year we're just focusing as much as we can about helping people become aware of their attitudes, of their self-talk, of their limiting beliefs, of, getting a hold of their self-talk and what they're thinking and what they're saying and the fear that they feel when they're doing the right activities. They're doing the correct activities. They're doing the correct activities that, when duplicated over a period of time, sequentially and systematically, will produce success. It will. It's the only thing that will. There's a lot of short-term boom and then it's gone. But when you do the right activities based upon wisdom of the ages principles, based upon human nature, human psychology, and you do those consistently over a period of time, they will create success. It's a law. Just like the law of gravity. If we all jump on this, on my roof up here and we all jump off, you know what? We're all going down. Somebody's not going to magically float up in the air. It's called the law of gravity. So there's laws that dictate success in every business, in every aspect. So if we keep it on network marketing, and let's say you want to make $250,000 a year, we'll just pull that out of the air. Whatever your number is. Obviously, Mr. Yaps in Malaysia has been involved in network marketing 20 years, full-time 10 years. He wants to be the number one money earner in his company in Malaysia. It's probably going to take more than $250,000 a year. But whatever that is for you, whatever that is for him. So to get from where you are to where you want to go, what has to happen? What has to happen? And if we're talking big income, $250,000 plus, then that income is going to be based upon product volume, obviously. How's product volume created? Important question. How would you answer it? There's only one answer. There's a lot of opinions. A lot of people give you a lot of opinions, but there is one answer. And on how product volume is created in network marketing. We're talking about the network marketing business model. And again, guys, anytime I say anything that you don't feel clear about, if you call me out, I'm open. I am open to being called out. Because when I say there's only one way to create product volume in network marketing, I absolutely 1000% believe it. And if I'm missing something or have missed something since the day that this reality got from my head to my heart and I've hung on to it, because we got to hang on to wisdom when we hear it. Most people cannot distinguish the difference between wisdom and fluff. and foo-foo dust. Jim Rohn said, don't confuse, what did he say? Don't confuse authenticity or sincerity with truth, because some people are sincerely wrong. And this profession is full of people that are sincerely wrong. Sincerely want to help, really sincerely do want to help, but they're sincerely wrong and don't know how to help. I believe that. And say, well, Dale, I've just been doing this longer than 95% of the people that you know in this profession. I've studied it. I've documented it. Let me get back. So how's volume created in network marketing? Because volume's going to ultimately create your income. Well, Dale, if I there's this ad that my upline's doing on Facebook, and they're doing these lives, and they've done, it's foo-foo dust. There's a lot of short-term foo-foo dust that's come in and out of this profession for over 35 years since I've been here. Foo-foo dust. Well, if we join ProStep, Dale, they're going to send you 200 qualified leads every month, and you just call these people. And ProStep if I started out, I could talk for hours about that. Hours. Dale, then you do this, and then if instead of setting up 2 business centers, if we set up 6, and we do that, and we multiply that, and this is what we'll have. The amount of people that have come up with illogical foo-foo dust solutions in an afternoon, sitting down with their calculator and then pitching them to their organization, and worse off, to the industry, like their gospel truth, is staggering. It's just like, everybody's got to have a blog if you want to be successful in network marketing. And again, I could talk for hours about it. So, how is product volume created? If you're going to build a business and your long-term income is if you're going to build a business and you want to make $250,000 plus a year or whatever, and you want to be a top money earner and you want to be full-time, and we can all agree for sure that your income is going to be based upon the volume, the product volume that's created on your team. So how is product volume created? It should not be debatable. It should not be a big secret. It should be as common to network marketers as a yellow M is to McDonald's employees. And I feel that way about virtually every aspect of this business. And every day I've got people that want to complain and tell me how it's not a yellow M, it's an upside down W, and it's not really yellow, Dale. It's really, if you look at it from this angle, it's a hue blue. And what about, Dale, when one of the lights goes out in the middle M, then it's like 2, and again, it's maddening. Maddening. So how's product volume created? How do you move product through a network marketing organization? Leadership moves products. Distributors are a revolving door. They're coming in one door and going out the other all the time. But established, homegrown leadership, leaders on your team, is what's going to create product volume. And some leaders can create a little bit of volume, and they can grow and learn how to create quite a bit of volume. They can grow and they can create. I mean, some leaders can lead a small group of friends and family. Some can lead a local organization. Some can lead a regional organization. Some can lead an organization throughout your country, and some people have the ability to lead a worldwide organization. But leadership creates product volume. Leadership. If that's true, and it is, then how do you develop leaders on your team? Well, Dale, I'm just going to go find me some leaders. Yeah, and you find them, and they're with you today, and they're with somebody else next month, and they're in 3 different programs in 3 years, or in 1 year, going in, taking their sheep with them from deal to deal to deal, and it's the same pattern over and over and over, getting their upfront commissions, their sign-up bonuses, and they're gone. I was talking to one of my coaching clients last week, and he was saying, Dale, it was right. He said, the guy that they had speaking at our conference last month? Yeah. And you said you knew him, and he would be gone and out of the business within 6 months. Yep. He quit. And he's calling all my downline now. And the company, of course, he was a guru. He's been, he's done all this and all these different companies. And when he joined us, he'd been with us 30 days, and they had him speaking at the conference. Stupid short-term decisions made by people that should know better. And now he's left, and wherever he goes, he'll leave again. That's what they do. And to expect, and every time, like the particular guy that the gentleman was telling me about, I had been the guest speaker at 2 different events about 6 months apart. During the testimony section, he comes up and he gives the exact same testimony 6 months in a different company that I heard him give 6 months before with his previous company. And he's up there crying and so thankful that he's finally found his home. And then he gives the exact same speech at the next conference. It's crazy. And we tolerate that and as an industry, and it makes no sense. But homegrown leadership, people that understand the retail to recruit system, they understand the 2-step recruiting process, they understand the 5 core fundamentals we talk about. Homegrown leadership ultimately moves products. Leadership moves products. Leadership moves products. So if that's true, then how do you develop leadership? How do you build a volunteer army? How's that built? What does it take? What's the first step to building a volunteer army? If that's really what it's going to take. Well, the first step is helping that individual decide why they're doing the business. Until you know why, the how doesn't matter. And there's people that listen to this podcast that have heard me say that on this podcast for 5 years, have heard me say this at live events for over 25 years. And still, when a new person joins your team today, step 1 is not helping them discover their whys, systematically helping them do that. And we do that through, as many of you know, top 20, top 3 list. And you've heard it for 25 years. And again, how could you be so stupid or ignorant? Let me put it that way. Ignorant. Well, Dale, I didn't need the reasons. Yeah, but it's not about you. Haven't you figured that out yet? It's not about you. It's about the 27%ers on your team and stacking the odds for success in their favor. And until they know why, the how doesn't matter. And you can train and you can have every Super Saturday and special offer this month and buy 2 and get 77 free. And if you do this, then we're going to do that. And you can keep little red wagons in front of them all the time to play with and get them hyped up about the next conference call and and you can go down that road and become the hype machine that most organizations and companies are. Or you can share with people proven, solid, wisdom of the ages principles and incorporate those into your organization, into the growth of your organization. And yes, people are going to balk. You know, I was talking with a coaching client last week, said, I got somebody that's really good. I think it's got a lot of potential. And they're just going crazy because I want their top 3, top 20 reasons. Like, you know, I've been doing this for 14 years and nobody else has ever asked me for that. Why are you? Why do I need to do it for you? And he said, because it's not about you. Because it's not about you. If you want to achieve your full upside potential in this profession, it's about building leaders, because leaders is what, he didn't go in this much detail, but you guys get it. Everything that we do, everything that we believe, everything that we teach, it's all interconnected. It's all intertwined. One thing's based upon the next, it's based upon the next, it's based upon the next. But when you put these pieces together, create the $250,000 or $1 million or whatever income you want to create, and the dreams fulfilled in this profession. And if you do it any other way, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. You'll never achieve your full upside potential in this profession if you don't have a way from the day they join to throw a ball with them and sequentially, systematically bring people down the road. And even when you have the perfect systems in place for your company and your organization, 70% of the people aren't going to make it 90 days, even when you have the perfect system in place. So to think anything other than that is naive. It's naive. So the first thing is you have to help people decide what they want. The second thing is to let them know we have a system that will take you from where you are to where you want to go. And so they have to know that there's a track for them to run on, because it's here. I mean, those of you that are members of the training club, you want to see the track in detail like it's never been shared anywhere ever with any company. Watch the pieces of the puzzle training that's in the back end, not part of the CDs, but in the back end of the MLM Training Club. There it is, guys. There it is. That's worth millions of dollars to the right person. That one training, the pieces of the puzzle, because it's explained in depth and in detail. And that's it. But I've talked about all of it at some point on a podcast or webinar or something. It's all there. But see, you will never master it until you realize that it's the only shot you got. It really is. I mean, hype and a lot of, just keeping the masses excited. I have no desire for that. No desire. Because here's the last thing I want to share today. And again, I could go so far down these roads, but hopefully you understand leadership moves products. And for you to achieve your full-time upside potential in this profession, it's going to be based upon not the number of people that are on your Facebook Live or the number of product users you have. It's going to be based upon the leaders that are developed on your team. And leaders, homegrown leaders, can only be developed sequentially and systematically. There's no other way. And it starts from the day they join all the way through until they get to a point of delegation, which is talked about in the book, Leadership in the 1 Minute Manager, that I should get royalties on. I've recommended that so many times to so many people. You direct people when they start. Once they know what to do to get started, then you coach them. After they're doing the activities, then you move into a support mode with them. And your ultimate goal is to get people to the point of delegation where they can do it without you. Direct, support, coach, delegate. Some people just want to support their entire organization, but your organization is made up of individuals who should be at different places on their personal path. And to not understand that, you should not be called a leader no matter how many double diamond pearls you have behind your title in your company. And I'm not trying to be rude or crude, but man, I believe it. I believe it. You know, leadership moves products, and the definition of leadership in network marketing has become those that can develop a following. But real leaders develop other leaders. They don't develop followings, they develop other leaders, as Brian Tracy said, and many other wisdom of the ages teachers, preachers, consultants have communicated. It is what it is. And to be in this profession and to not really grasp that is disappointing. It's disappointing because if you're doing it with the skill sets and mindsets you entered the industry with and the work ethic that you entered the industry with, that will never be duplicated. It's not, you can't duplicate your work ethic. You can't duplicate your background. You can't duplicate your credibility, but systems can be duplicated. And even when you have the most refined system in place, the amount of time, energy, and effort that it takes it's probably 10 times the effort that most people think it is. Is it worth it? Yeah, it is for most people. If you've never made it yet and you want to real bad, it's worth it. It's worth it. If you're financially secure and you have grandkids that you like watch playing sports and you like to do other things in your life and you're financially secure and you're not hungry anymore, then it's probably not worth it. Probably not. There's probably other business models you can participate in that maybe you don't need $250,000 plus a year. There's multiple business models where you can make 6 figures a year. Multiple. So how can I help Mr. Yap and other people that ask me this question is, guys, I promise you that I've thought about this more hours and experienced this with more people and watched this process to a point that it's unexplainable. It's unexplainable, but it's not difficult. I mean, it's unexplainable how much time, energy, effort, and hours I put into this and how many conversations. And there's just simple questions. And when you get the answers to those questions, you got to hang on to them for dear life, because the foo-foo dust is going to be all around you everywhere all the time. It always has been. And yes, it's worse today than it ever has been. And you got people that you think are leaders because of their titles, or because of the amount of money they made, because of the following that they were able to develop, that are going to give you advice that sometimes is sincere, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just the best advice they can give you to line their pocketbook. And you got to be aware of what's going on behind the curtain. You got to have an awareness about this, about human nature and this business model, because the real product in this profession is people. It's people. And I've said many times, the higher up you go in leadership, the more of a psychologist you have to become. And once you do that, you've always got to be value focused and have the best interest of all your team members, not the special group that, of Canadians because you used to live in Canada or whatever. And I just pulled that out of the air. I could have said anything. But it's all about stacking the odds for success in your favor. And you do that by stacking the odds for success in your team's favor. And it starts with the day they join and helping them get their business launched correctly. So I'm not going to go any further than this today. I could go, I could talk about this and because I understand it. I understand playing ball. And I feel like sometimes I'm repeating myself over and over and over, but it's like the preacher. He said, he got up and he preached a sermon, and the next week he got up and he preached a sermon. The third week he got up and preached the exact same sermon. And the fourth week, Sunday, he got up and he preached the exact same sermon. And then the board said, could we please have a meeting with you? And he said, sure. And the board got together and they said, preacher, is it our imagination? Or have you preached the exact same sermon the last 4 weeks in a row? And he said, no, it's not your imagination. That's exactly what I've done. And he said, well, why are you doing that? We're not paying you to preach the same sermon 4 weeks in a row. And he said, I'm going to keep preaching it until you guys get it. I'm going to keep preaching it until you guys get it. And I'm not saying that I'm going to keep preaching it until you guys get it. I'm saying I've been preaching it for years and years and years, and it's not going to change. I don't care what's new funnel, new social media, TikTok, a platform appears, or now Craigslist allows you to run HTML ads. I've watched it and experienced it and seen it over and over and over. And here's what I know. We're in the leadership development business. Your long-term income is in direct proportion to the number of leaders that are developed on your team. You're in the leadership development business. So the real question always has been, always will be, how do you develop leaders? And you can only do that systematically, sequentially, and it has to start from day one. It's no different than building any other franchise. The reason franchises can be duplicated so quickly and easily is because of the systems. When you buy a franchise, you're not buying the rights to the product necessarily. You are, but the real value is in the systems that operate that business that create success. The problem in network marketing is you can hire somebody to work in your franchise, and if they don't do the job, we're building a volunteer army. We can't fire people. We cannot control people's work ethic. We cannot, life happens. People go through heartaches and things happen. It's just the hardest business model in the world to develop a team of people that are volunteer armies. It's the most difficult business model in the world, but is it worth it? Is it worth it for you? That's the individual question that all of us have to answer. All of us have to answer, and to thy own self be true. And if it is, then get focused and get serious and get plugged in and don't stop. Formal education makes you a living. If you become self-educated, you can create a fortune. And if you have 50% of the pieces of the puzzle, it's costing you 500% of the income that you could be making. Did you hear what I just said? There's a lot of people that understand a lot of what we talk about, but they don't have the entire pieces of the puzzle. They don't have from the day the person joins to the point where you get them to a full-time income and the point of delegation. They don't understand the road between here and there. They got different parts of the map, different parts of the puzzle, but they don't understand how it all must connect together. And it must be sequential, and it must be congruent. So I'm going to shut up now. I hope this has helped you a little bit, Robert, and everybody else out there that send me these questions. I mean, the best way to learn from me, that was your ultimate question, is since you are a six-figure earner already, or you've been in the industry for 10 years already, and you've been full-time, would be to join the Network Marketing Leadership Development Academy. But I only accept 20 members of that. Only have 20. It's $5,000 a year. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to add any more members for sure. And I really don't think I'm even going to ever open it up again for membership. But if you want to learn more about it, it's, what is it? Network Marketing Leadership Development Academy. It's NWMLDA. NW Network NWMLDA.com. And, you can register there if and when I open it up again. And again, I don't know, I'm at this point, but it's not something that I really wanted, that I want to have more than 20 people because of the time that it takes, the thought, the connection with the people, the emotion that it pulls from me. But I get a lot back, and we've got 20 members in 4 different countries. And I think the last I looked, it was 16 different companies, 4 different countries, 20 members. We opened it up a few years ago, sold out within a couple of hours. We had 3 times more applications than we took members. We had over 68 applications. We accepted 20. And from time to time, if somebody passes away, we had a member pass away or whatever, then we'll replace a member, but it's not something that I promote. The best way to understand the full foundation, the whole process to the best of my ability without my personal time, because Network Marketing Leadership Development Academy members have a private email only for them, and I spend time on the phone with them every month that they need it in any given situation, is through the MLM Training Club, MLMtrainingclub.com. And if you're serious, and see, there's some of you that have been kind of creeping on this podcast for 2 or 3 years, some longer, and never joined the network marketing or never joined the MLM Training Club. I don't understand it, because you do have access there. You have a private Facebook group. And when we get questions in that group, we got a great group of people. And when you get questions there, they're answered, and they're not answered based upon some, theory. They're based upon wisdom of the ages principles and a lot of water under the bridge and a track record. And they're centered around, the 5 core fundamentals that we teach. So it's very congruent is what I'm trying to say. But Mr. Yap, I didn't even look. I don't know if you're a member of the MLM Training Club or not. I know we have several members in Malaysia, but if you're not, MLMtrainingclub.com. For the rest of you, I hope I've said something today that maybe has gotten a little bit deeper, a little bit higher level of understanding of what it really takes for you to maximize the time, energy, effort that you're spending in the network marketing business model. It's about you maximizing your personal upside potential based upon your personal dreams, desires, and goals. And I hope something I've said today helps you. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for your positive feedback and your negative feedback. I sincerely appreciate it. I depend upon it. Thank you so much, Mr. Yap, for your question. And I'll talk to you guys again next Tuesday on the next session of the MLMsuccess.com podcast. If you want to check out back sessions, we've got over 180 sessions. You can do that at MLMsuccess.com. You guys stay safe. Have an awesome, awesome week, and I'll talk to you next week.
If you haven't gone over to iTunes yet and rated and left this podcast a review, what are you waiting for? At Calvert Marketing Group, we want to spend our time on the projects that we know are providing the most value for our clients and customers. You leaving us a review and feedback on iTunes is something that helps us more than you realize. And more importantly, it helps others like you find us. So if you've not taken the time to rate this podcast, please go over to iTunes and do that for us now. It will only take a couple of minutes out of your busy schedule. Work harder on yourself than you do on your business, and we will be back next week with another inspiring success story, wisdom of the ages training, or answers to your questions.